women, but the most important goddesses were black. Not just for the African now, in the civilization of the Greek. The Greek was so profoundly affected by the Africans that the goddess of chastity was a black woman, Artemis. The goddess of wisdom was a black woman, Minerva. The goddess of beauty was a black woman, Diana. And many of their great mythological figures which were critical to the vision of history, the history of the Greeks in the Odyssey. The woman who has the power to draw Odysseus and all his crew into her is Circe, who is represented as a black woman with African features on the Greek vases. The woman who helps Jason win the Golden Fleece is a black woman, Medea. The woman who marries Perseus, the Greek hero.
Gye-Nyame, Bombskin & Co. is the true definition of self-care, self-love, and repeat. We are what we create in this life. Bombskin & Co. chooses to create something innovative and unforgettable. Check out our website for more information.
All right. We have to move to a new time with these shows because I can't wait till 9 o'clock. My body just ain't like it was, and it just shifted on me. I can't say fast, but I felt it coming because I would take a nap and I wouldn't be able to get up. So I said, let's start doing it a little bit earlier. And I said, hey, hell, learn from Sister Navita. Navita said, I ain't doing that at no 9 o'clock, I'm like, oh. So I'm thinking about it. I said, cool, let's try it. Let's see how this works. Family, I want to welcome you to Folk Tales for Grown Folks. But first, I want to welcome you once again to the congregation of the mighty, the home of the stubborn minority, the place where your hustle builds muscle. This is Gye-Nyame Journey Media. I am your host, Brother Hatim, and of course, this is a Heart of a Summer production. Where we strive to blow up your old paradigms. I don't know how some of those people do that. Shouts out to Greg Yearwood. Shouts out to Mama Margarita. Shouts out to anybody out there that's joining us right now. Family, put the children to bed. What I have to start doing is I have to start putting disclaimers before the show so that people know, because I cuss. I know it offends some people, and some people, like I said, this might not be the place for you, because sometimes I have things that are bubbling up in me that I have to get out, and a lot of my callers may cuss as well. And speaking of that, while we are on here right now, let me go and make sure I open up the lines so that we can start our conversation. Now, the black line will be going the way of the dodo bird pretty soon as we start improving GNJ.media or Kwanzaa365.media. We will make it possible for people to call in, to click a link and to get in. If you don't want to show your picture, you just could blank the picture out, but you'll be able to have conversations with us. So right now the black line is open. I don't think I'm going to take the black line nowhere, but if expenses, when I start having to make those cuts, because rough times are coming. Rough times are always coming, and we always have to be prepared, family. Always got to be prepared. And, I have a list of short things that I could get rid of to kind of, float until we are able to rise back to where we were. Because at one point in time, y'all remember that on Gye-Nyame Journey Media, I was able to text everybody, let them know that it was going to be going down. And then I was able to stream through multiple platforms and never drop. It never dropped, right? And all that stuff, like I said, just those two things by themselves were almost $300 a month. So, family, like I said, if you have a dream, if you have an idea, sometimes it takes you investing in it. And, that's what I do. I invest in what I like. I invest in what I do. And this is one of the things that I do, and I believe this is one of my gifts. And like I said, if I offend you, I can't apologize for being me. I really can't. But you know what I can say is there are plenty of platforms out there, maybe that you could go to. One of the things that I need to share with the family is that the most popular show on Gye-Nyame Journey Media at the present time is Blunt Talk. Blunt Talk is where we have grown folk talk. Of course, it stars the fabulous Miss Navita, as well as Sugarfoot, as well as myself, and also Brother Alumala. And we sit down and we have grown folk conversations. You know what I'm saying? It's smoking going on and all this stuff. It's called Blunt Talk. Not for the blunt, but for the blunt. We being blunt about what we saying, because some stuff, you know, people ain't gonna hear. So for me, for Blunt Talk to be the most popular show, right? You know, because as far as views overall, you know what I'm saying? And in the short time that it has, it outdoes everything else that we're doing. Now, what does that say to me and to when I am talking to the fam and people are like, you know, if you cut back on the language a little bit more, you probably would get, you know, we done that. Right? I mean, like Daily Toast, every now and then I go off, but it is what it is. Daily Toast, you know what I'm saying? That audience was not built on non-cussing. You know what I'm saying? I mean, hell, if that was the audience, possibly, I would just do the Daily Toast and then I would do my other stuff. But the audience didn't come. Family, we create these platforms, and the ones that come, right? Because what Navita showed me was, boom, let's just be blunt with what we're saying. Let's just be, you know what I'm saying? What this has demonstrated is that y'all don't want to hear nobody. It's very few of y'all that would spend the time to really have a conversation in the way that a lot of people is telling me that they want to have a conversation, that they want to hear, right? I mean, like I said, think about this. In the midst of doing all the stuff that I'm doing, I have posted videos of trainings with young people, no cussing. I have posted videos up of my children, no cussing. I have posted up videos of Cleve doing instructional stuff, no cussing. And none of them have hit 100 views. Where are you? Where are you? Even if you just went on there and liked it, and I appreciate it, where are you? Where are all of the non-cussers that if I was to put up stuff for them, they could see it? I put it up, I stream it, I make sure people see it, I even boost some of this stuff. And where are they? Right? The family that I talk to or the family that I talk to the way I talk to. Right? And I'm not mad at nobody about that. Hey, everybody got their opinion, but we developed Kwanzaa365.media, we developed GNJ.media for those people who want their own platform. If you believe that you got that formula and you can make it work, family, I will help you create your show. I will allow you to stream it on all our platforms. You know what I'm saying? I'm challenging those of you who feel that our people don't want this type of language. I'm challenging you. Come on. While I'm spending all this money right now to do this little stuff that I'm doing, come on out. Let's do a show. I'll help you set up your studio. You want to do some initial investment if you ain't got your computer or I'll help you set up your studio. I'll help you get your mic. I'll help you get all that. And let's build it. I'm going to continue doing what I'm doing. Sister Navita's going to continue doing what she's doing. The other members of Gye-Nyame, when they come on, some of them are like me. A majority of them are not. They're going to bring content. And I'm going to challenge those of you that want that type of content to blow blow everything else out the water. Blow it out the water. But history has shown. History has shown. Right? History has shown. But anyway, tonight we are here for Folk Tales for Grown Folks. Once again, it's in the title. It's for grown folks. I need grown folks to line up. The caller lines are up. Is boom, black line. It's the black line. It's the black line. Ha ha ha. Brother Quasi Low shouts out. He says scared because damn sure ain't ready to go to war. See, and that's what a lot of people, because we are under siege. We're under siege. And I don't think a lot of people believe that. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? And I did a video today, so I'm not going to ruin it, and I'm not going to talk about it. But the black line is open, 614-556-4535. Oh, hold on, I got to go. This is one of the elders. Hold on. Apologize. Who this?
You know who this is.
Oh, what's up, Quasi Low? What's going on, man?
What's happening, big brother? How Tim?
I'm chilling, man. I'm chilling here, trying to fight off the confusion and you know, even some hate. You know, just the regular day in Gye-Nyame. It's real life here at Gye-Nyame Journey. You understand what I'm saying? So what's going on with you, my friend?
Not too much. Just got done with a class not too long ago. I ain't even really made it public. Don't too many people know, but the few people I told. But, you know, I'm in this master's degree program. You know what I'm saying? Like, high school dropout out here. Trying to work on some more credentials.
And what master's program are you in, brother?
You wouldn't believe it if I told you.
I know what it is.
Well, you know what it is. You helped me get there.
Right.
But yeah, I'm studying the Master's of Theology.
I think somebody
Master's of Theological Studies.
Hey, a great field. Somebody named Maxine Ibokate says hi, Quasi Low. We got Brother Kwame. He say, what? Y'all going to keep cussing? Well, I'll just be. You know what I'm saying? I mean, because I'm not shy on words. I know how to do it, and I know when to do it. You know what I'm saying? And it's all good because we all different people, right? So, and you know, and in many ways, sometimes some of this stuff become thought malicious. I don't know if I said that right. You know, people monitoring your thoughts and how how you speak. You know what I'm saying? And I want to go into the story, but I'm not going to ruin it because I'm putting it on the adventure for Hot Tim. But we could go and get into the proverb for the day. Lines are open, 614-556-4535. Once again, lines are open, 614-556-4535. And once again, for all those family members out there that want to do their own show, if you want to create an e-course, if you want to create an e-book, right? If you need help with your social media presence, if you need commercials, we at Gye-Nyame Journey Media, we can help you put all that together, especially if you family. We gonna hook you up. You understand what I'm saying? Because a lot of this stuff, like for example, if you check out our free 7-day e-course, it's a free 7-day e-course. Now, if you choose to buy something, that's on you. But a lot of the information about Gye-Nyame Journey and why we do what we do is explained right there. You go right there and you can see. Raw, unfiltered, because this is what this is what I am, this is what I do. Right? I explain perfectly. I ain't gonna say perfectly. It always could be better. But anyway, so Brother Quasi, you ready for the folk tale? The folk tale?
Born ready.
All right. Let me go and put this free e-course for all those out there that might be interested in checking out our e-course. Go and check it out. You know what I'm saying? If you don't have a tribe, you want to join a tribe, Gye-Nyame Journey Gye-Nyame tribe has not outgrown its limits. We have a limit of 150 people. Strange, huh? But you know, when we get to that point, we already know what to do. So, all right, family. So let's go on and let's go and check out this proverb. Let me turn this on. Boom, there we go. All right, we got somebody else replying to Gye-Nyame Journey Media. Who is this? Margarita replying, Gye-Nyame Journey, why do we need to use those big words? Well, actually, in a lot of ways, it gets people attention. And it mimics regular talk. A lot of people tune in because it's regular folk. It's regular folk talking. I am, and a lot of us talk like people in our lives. So it makes some people feel comfortable. Some people feel guilty about it. Others, boom, boom, boom. And all those words, a lot of those words, they get your attention. They are words of power. People don't want to deal with that. They're words of power. You know what I'm saying? But you know what I'm saying? And they're war words. They're war words, and they can be peace words. They're multifaceted. You know what I'm saying? So, but go ahead, bro.
I don't know about everybody else, but I talk proper as fuck.
Yo, there you go. There you go. I told y'all put them babies to bed. It's already starting. So we're going to use the ancient building, and we're going to move on to the next screen. Shouts out to Derek Cole. Thanks for the love. We need some love around here. There's a lot of anger at GNJ.media, and I'm loving it. So, family, on this show, what we do is we discuss proverbs. Lines are open, 614-556-4535. I'm going to read the proverb, and then we're going to have a discussion, because we believe that our ancestors left us all the answers. All we got to do is be willing to do the work. And what's that work called? We call it wisdom mining. All right, so this is our ancestor by the name of Aesop. And on this show, we use a lot of his story. We could also go to other stories, but like I said, I might be saving that for another person at another time when somebody take over the show. Like I said, I'm building a legacy. I want to be able to build this up to a point where a young person, or maybe a not so young person, could be like, "Hey, Hatem, I want to do that show. That was a good idea. I want to do that show." And they could come and bring a whole nother flavor. You know what I'm saying? And it might be, hey, but here we go. Proverb of the day. And I want those people in Gye-Nyame Journey and the world to know that I go in order. Now, last week's, the one we did, the last one we did, because I've been falling asleep, was the lion in love. Y'all remember that one, where a lion wanted to marry the daughter of a farmer, and the farmer was terrified of the lion, and he didn't want to give his daughter to the lion, but he outsmarted the lion, and he told the lion, said, "Hey, man, my daughter's scared of those claws and those teeth, and if you want to marry my daughter, you got to take those out." And the lion, being a fool, did it. And when he came to the door to request the daughter's hand, the farmer beat the lion up and sent him on his way. "Put your weapons down, and you can have my daughter." Oh, you fool. Now, we move to the next one. Y'all ain't going to believe this. They ain't going to believe this, Kwame. Gye-Nyame ain't going to believe this. I keep on trying to tell people. I say, hey, family, we work with the ancestors. That's what a lot of people don't understand. Now, check this out. This is the story. It's called The Laborer and the Snake. I posted it up for y'all. Y'all see it up on your screen, hopefully. And I'm going to read it, then we're going to go through some of the translations. Or we could just go straight into the discussion, depending on how Kwesi feel at this time, because he might be quiet after his class. Might be tired after his class. The Laborer and the Snake. A snake, having made his hole close to the porch of a cottage, inflicted a mortal bite on the cottage's infant son. Grieving over his loss, the father resolved to kill the snake. The next day, when it came out of his hole for food, he took up his axe, but by swinging too hastily, he missed the head and cut off the end of its tail. After some time, the cottager, afraid that the snake would bite him, also endeavored to make peace and placed some bread and salt in the hole. The snake, slightly hissing, said, "There can henceforth be no peace between us. For wherever I see you, I shall remember the loss of my tail, and whenever you see me, you will be thinking of the death of your son." And the moral of the story says, no one truly forgets injury in the presence of him or her who caused the injury. Woo-wee! All right, Quasi, you want to hit on that one? Anybody else want to hit on that one? Because I got to check these boards, because Kwame is up on the board, and I know he got something to say.
First thing I thought about was family.
What you mean? Go ahead. Explain, brother. Talk to us.
I mean, they go both ways. I don't think it's a secret that in the black community we got some divisive family patterns, and we inflict probably as much harm consistently. You might see the police shootings and those type of things might be eye-popping, and, those might take our attention, but and whether I'm talking about family as far as blood or family as far as people that's in a similar circumstance, we inflict more consistent pain on each other. And, so the next, even as I'm kind of cycling through the thought process, I'm thinking it's one thing to try to navigate, because ultimately the bottom line is forgiveness and moving, not even forgiveness, but moving past. It's one thing to move past an injury when there was an acknowledgement of the injury, but a lot of times, a lot of the injuries that we inflict upon each other go unacknowledged. So then it's like a double thing. Like, I gotta fight you just so you can acknowledge that you fucked me over, and then I gotta fight you for the shit that you did. Like, I gotta fight you for the fact that you haven't acknowledged that you hurt me, and then we gotta deal with the initial hurt. You see what I'm saying? Because
right.
It's a bigger hurt to cut me and to not acknowledge that you cut me when we both know that you got a knife in your hand, or vice versa. If I ignore that I cut you and you see the knife and the blood on my hand, because I never want to be the person to be blaming and pointing the finger without taking, I always like to take ownership of my part of the shit. But so it's even compounded is what I'm saying, because a lot of times we don't even give each other the honor and respect in the humanity to recognize that we have the common sense in the humanity to know when we've been done wrong.
The common sense and the humanity to know when we've been done wrong. So now we got several different versions of this before I go into it. I'm going to give some people some time. Family, by all means, throw some comments up. Let me know what y'all think. Y'all can join us on Kwanzaa365.media or GNJ.media. You can get your account. You can join the discussion, or you can hit us up on the board. You know what I'm saying? And it's like, so now, I want to say this. Please, in this story, remember, this story is not about forgiveness. Before I even get into it, this story is not about forgiveness. So first off, if we look, because one of the issues because one of the hard parts I found about finding this proverb or finding this story was that when I turned the page and I opened it up, because the one from last week was page 64, and this is page 65, the title of it is The Laborer and the Snake. But if you look at the title that I sent out, it says The Countryman and the Snake, because there's so many different stories about this, right? And there's so many stories about the snake and the nature of a snake. It's the nature of a snake to bite. The snake was attacked for being a snake. The man knew the snake was a snake. The snake knew it was a snake. Now, it wasn't about the man forgiving the snake, because the man was going to try to kill the snake because the snake killed his child. I want y'all to understand, the snake killed this man's child. It bit the child. The child was out playing or doing whatever and ran across the snake, and the snake did what a snake do. It bit. And because of the man's haste, he ended up missing. But then the man started having second thoughts. Now the question I want to ask is why? Why would you have second thoughts about taking out the snake that killed your child? I don't understand that one. So let's go and look at some of these other ones. So they got different versions. A man's son stepped on a snake who bit and killed him. The man cut the tail off the snake, which then went after the man's cattle. No truce could be had. Injuries may be forgiven, but not forgotten. So even in the concept of forgiveness, there's one piece that a lot of people want to operate in this, because I don't even think this is about forgiveness, but a lot of people want us to not only forgive. A lot of people want people not only to forgive, but they also want you to forget. See, and I have to ask the question, because like I said, I think this story is deeper than forgiveness. But let me ask this. Is there a rule in forgiving of forgetting? When you forgive, are you obligated to forget?
You're obligated to remember.
Can you expound on that, my brother?
I think forgive and forget is two different directions. Like, forgive is an inward thing. That's something that you do for your own self, for your own sanity, for your own. That's how you heal. You forgive yourself. You know what I mean? For allowing yourself to be in that position. You don't expect a snake to not bite. You know what I'm saying? You got to forgive yourself for being in the position that you allow harm to come to you. But you remember how you got there, so it don't happen again.
And you also remember the thing or the person that inflicted it so that you know how to deal with them.
Absolutely. And even with that, like, you don't hate that person, you know what I'm saying? Or hate that entity or whatever, to hate that being, because that being is just being what it be. You accept it. Hatred is a manipulation of reality. You know what I'm saying? You can't hate reality into being something other than what it is. Like, the ultimate goal is to accept. And everything is dualistic, man. That's the thing about everything in life is dualistic. Just because you have to accept it. Even if you want to change it, you can't change some shit that you ain't accepted at. You know what I'm saying? What it is.
So you can't work magic on something that you're seeing. Well, you can't work magic on an illusion.
You got to know the rules of reality. You got to be deeply rooted in reality to do magic.
Damn, you got to be deeply rooted. That's a good one. Where's my notebook? But we also got Brother Kwame on the line. Brother Kwame, what's going on? The Black Yoda is in the house. We're going to give him a round of applause. Give him a round of applause, y'all. Come on now. Give it up.
That's not even necessary. What's happening, brother? So, it's something I would often share with my church family. They'd get on that, forgive and forget trick. And I'd raise my hand, this would be in the middle of a Sunday school or whatever. And I said, look, if you want to forgive, go ahead. I said, but don't forget. And they're like, well, Calvin, why not? And I said, look, your forgetting oftentimes leads to the demise of the very person you're forgiving. And here's what I meant by that. I said, now, you guys are often so busy reading one aspect of the Bible and not considering what Quasi referred to as its balance. And that is the reason why I would want to remember my brother or sister's weakness is so that I don't expose it to them. In other words, I do not tempt them greater than what their ability is able to handle. In other words, so if my brother, let's say, just for an example, is weak on being around beautiful women, and he gets a little handsy, or
hey man, don't be talking about me and Cole. Come on, man.
I didn't mention your name. Did I mention your name, man?
Maybe that's that guilt. I'm sorry.
Tell him so.
So if I'm really being responsible on my part by remembering his weakness, then that's not what I'm going to bring. That's not what I'm going to put him around. I'm not going to expose him to that all the time, so that his weakness just jumps out at everybody. That's both a protective measure for me and understanding what his weakness is, but it's also a protective measure. Well,
it protects him too.
Here's the issue, because it brings the point home. I hate to use it, but it brings the point home quickly. I say, okay, many of us grew up knowing something about pedophiles. And let's say that pedophile has done his time or her time. The pedophile comes to the church house, and, they want to be accepted.
I'm sorry, go ahead.
And I say, look, forgive them by all means, but would you leave your child with him? Would you leave your child with her? And I said, that is not to say you haven't forgiven the individual. It's to say that you do not want to tempt him or her beyond what they're capable of handling.
In turn, protecting them as well as protecting yourself.
And what in the hell would you think if you left your child in their hand and that brother or sister fell to their weakness?
But it's not for us to judge, Brother Kwame.
No, I'm discerning. Judge be damned. If you want to call it judging, you can call it that. But I'm discerning.
He's discerning.
Well, but P82, because that's crazy, Brother Kwame, because that's actually the exact precise example that I use when we're talking about passing judgment. It's just the same conversation, Yeah. I'm not judging somebody. I'm not. So to kind of make a different parallel to what I actually use to that, if we playing basketball, and I don't pick this person because they can't play basketball good, that's my dog. I don't want you on my team because you suck. but when we leave here, that's my dog. You see what I'm saying? Like, it's different arenas, and that's less of a character judgment. You know what I mean? But
right,
even
you're able to discern.
The same thing.
Right, you're able to discern.
About our children,
right.
When we're talking about our children, we want our children to win. The name of the game is always to win.
Mm-hmm.
So we put them in situations where they can win. So let's go on to the Elliot Jacob version.
All right, I'm out.
All right. Who is that? Who said they leaving? Kwame? All right. He come in, drop some wisdom, then run. What kind of stuff is that? A countryman's son accidentally trod upon a snake's tail. The snake turned and bit him, and the son died. The father in a rage got his axe and, pursuing the snake, cut off the parts of its tail. The snake, in revenge, began killing the farmer's cattle. They had a full-fledged war. The farmer thought it best to make it up with the snake, and brought food and honey to the mouth of his lair, and said to it, "Let's forget and forgive. Perhaps You were right to punish my son and take vengeance on my cattle, but surely I was right in trying to revenge him. Now that we are both satisfied, why should we not be friends again? No, no, said the snake. Take away your gifts. You can never forget the death of your son, nor I the loss of my tail. We already read the Townsend's version. They got a video on this, and because that's one of the things we're gonna be working with here. So, now we got the Samuel Crux show, but this is what I really like about this particular website, because they go into it. So they got the application. So let's go and check out this application real quick. The man who was injured, you will never forget. The man who has injured you will never forgive you, is a Spanish proverb. Now listen to that. The man who has injured you will never forgive you. So the man who that's deep play on the thought. The man who has injured you will never forgive you, unless they wrote it wrong. Is a Spanish proverb. And after their dry way, a very good one. I don't understand. It seems odd at first.
Proverb.
Huh?
That's a street proverb. If you owe a nigga money, kill him.
You said kill him. Good God Almighty. That ain't street. But hold on. It seems odd at first sight, because one would think that the backwardness to forgive should be on the side of him who has received the injury. But the truth of the maxim lies with much more certainty on the other side. The consciousness of having provoked the resentment of another will dwell so continually upon the mind of the aggressor that he cannot rest till he has finished his work. Ooh. Damn. Never thought about it like that. And put it as much as possible out of his enemy's power to make any return upon him. Therefore, as the serpent wisely observes, it is in vain for two people who have palpably injured each other ever to expect to live well together for the future. Morality bids us to forgive our enemies, and the voice of reason confirms the same, but neither reason nor morality bids us enter into a friendship with or repose a confidence in those who have injured us. We may resolve not to return ill usage, but ought never to forgive, but ought never to be forgiven. If when we can prevent it, we put ourselves into our enemy's hands. So the proverb, the way the Spanish proverb went, is right. The man who has injured will never forgive you. The man who has injured will never forgive you. Now, family, this is going even deeper than I thought. Because think about this. Take this to a people level. Take this to a group level. The man who has injured you will never forgive you. Do y'all hear it? Is it ringing in you? Because it sounds backwards, because it is backwards. The man who has injured you will never forgive you. They got to take you out. They got to, because they already know that in some form or fashion, it's coming back to them. So let's go back over that part again and say, it seems odd at first sight, because one would think the backwardness to forgive should be on the side of him who has received the injury. But the truth of the maxim lies with much more certainty on the other side. The consciousness of having provoked the resentment of another will dwell so continually upon the mind of the aggressor that he cannot rest till he has finished his work. And put it as much possible out of the enemy's power to make any return upon him. Oh my God! Family, did y'all hear this? This has never crossed my... Oh my God! The man who has injured you will never forgive you. Never. And want to take all power away from you so that you can never get back at him. Does that sound familiar? Are you not living through that? I mean, because we could go to the personal lives, but hell, let's look as a people here in America. Does this not sound familiar? I got to write this down. The man who has injured you will never forgive you. Oh my God. And it's so simple. But all it took was a little bit of wisdom mining for us to get to the bottom of it. Like I told you, our ancestors already laid out all of the understanding that we need because life is not new. Technology is, but a lot of the ways that we deal with each other as human beings has remained the same. The man who has injured you, Kwesi, will never forgive you. I want to strip you of all the power to ever come back on me. Think about that. Think about some of your relationships. Think about your business relationships. Think about some of the family dynamics. And hell, think about the state of our people right now. The issue in America is not a problem of black folks forgiving white folks for what happened in the past. The fact of the matter is that white folks have never forgiven us. Where my goddamn explosion? Where my explosion at? Where explosion? Where you at? I might be able to put this show to sleep, Kwesi. I mean, I did that. Oh my God. But let's go into the story a little bit more. So, the son accidentally stepped on the snake, or the son was playing by the hole, and the snake came up out the hole and bit the son. It was his nature. Came up out the hole, bit the son. Started a feud between him and the man. And even though the man was looking for peace, even though the man was able to find forgiveness, the snake was not willing to let it go. Because the snake knows as soon as he turns his back on this man, as soon as this man feels that as soon as this man has an opportunity, the aching memory of that son and that lost cattle is going to come back.
That's an interesting distinction that you made, because you started to say no, but then you switched and said feels. It's just in your bones. You know what I mean? It's
right.
You can never get rid of it, because if it was a thought, you could rationalize it and really, you know what I mean? Like, nah, I just work with them, get them together. But it's really, so, it's crazy. So I'm going to actually kind of pivot a little bit, if you don't mind.
Family, that's what the show. That's what the show is for, pivoting. We learn how to pivot.
You know, you familiar with a rapper by the name of 21 Savage?
I'm familiar with him. I haven't really listened to any of his music.
He came on the scene a few years ago, and he dropped a couple hits, and I was like, I like that. He dropped a couple, like, albums, and I liked, like, one song off of each album, real strong. 21 Savage, you remember 50 Cent, when 50 Cent came out, and he came with Ja Rule real crazy?
Right.
And that album was real kind of violent, and it was kind of, a lot of dudes, a lot of my guys was like, this is it, because like, I believe him. He's serious. Like, he mean it. But when you listen to that 21 Savage, it makes listening to 50 Cent sound like child's play. Like, so through all of that, like, insurrection and all of the instability in the country and all of this and that, you know what I mean? Everybody was on edge. Everybody was ready. I was listening to 21 Savage to literally meditate on darkness and get ready to kill shit. You know what I'm saying? That was my darkness soundtrack. I don't even know where I was going with this. Because I'm so like in that place, even thinking about it. Since then, I done made myself start listening to reggae just to let myself like de-escalate myself. You know what I mean? But it's like, oh, right, that's what it is. So his latest album, the whole album to me is fire. I be having to make myself not listen to it. It's so, the beats is so subsonically like angry, and it's like, it's a space in me that just thrives on that energy because it's so dark, and it's a part of me that's just ready to go to war. You know what I'm saying? And that speaks to that place in me. But it's balanced out very articulately and very smoothly by the narrator of that album. You would never guess who was narrating that album. Morgan Freeman.
Shut up.
You gotta check it out. That album is crazy, man. So it's this one, and the reason it's crazy because he's drawing on that 50 Cent energy, because 50 Cent's main hit from that album was Many Men. Many men wish death upon me, but my eyes dog and I can't see. I'm trying to be what I'm destined to be. You know what I mean? So 21 Savage got his own version of Many Men, and again, it makes 50s sound like child's play. Like, this dude is serious. Like, I'm actually clutching my pearls right now. You see what I'm saying? But at the end of that song, Morgan Freeman comes on and he says something to the effect of, I can't remember exactly how he says it, but he says something to the effect of, hatred only begets hatred. And that's the downfall of many men. Hatred begets hatred. Like, when you get in this hateful space and when you start being on this hateful spirit, it's a response to hate. And when you continue in that space, you're going to attract hatred to you.
Oh.
Which is only going to bring you more hatred.
Oh.
You see what I'm saying?
Right. Right.
So then when we're thinking about that from the perspective of like what's going on in this country, and you see what I'm saying, these people that got their knee on our neck, that's straight up hatred. You see what I'm saying? And
right.
It's like, I feel like I got a chance to kind of taste that, and now I'm like kind of getting back to myself. Because even all of 2020, like it was so dark. You know, it was just a very dark year for me personally. Like, going from, I was so inspired coming into 2021. I'm on this campaign. We about to get us a new congresswoman. It's my friend. She actually has reparations on her platform. And then I'm dealing with all of these Columbus people that's talking about Auntie. You know, how you going to disrespect Auntie by running against her? And to me, it's like, aren't you looking at this lady's policies and seeing that the stuff that she's actually running on and running unopposed on, when you know, I don't know too much about politics, but I do know when you run unopposed, then you have the opportunity to do everything you want to do.
That's right. Now,
there's no pushback.
Right. But a lot of times we, Elder Tony often talks about a concept that he came up called tradition and reason. We have many people that basically are on autopilot, rolling with the tradition. And like a lot of the elders, as we get older, we start setting patterns in our life, and we could go on autopilot. There's traditions of the people. There's basic traditions that I have in my house. You know what I'm saying? That I could do. But then the reason is the young people, because they come and ask why. You know what I'm saying? This is not working anymore. I mean, if it's not working no more, young people come in and they might follow it for a while, but then they're going to start freaking it out to make it fit in with the times. So we have a bunch of people that are just caught on doing things out of tradition and no longer are asking questions. Like when it comes to their vote, this is all I know. Tradition. I'm voting for this family because if I'm correct, somebody held that seat a long time before she did and passed it to her. You know what I'm saying?
Her husband.
Right. Legacy. Right? Tradition. This is the tradition. This is what we do. And what we're coming into an age where new traditions are being formed. But what we have to do because you're not as young as you used to be. We're moving into an elder state where we have to start bringing in new traditions that our people are following to make sure that we are able to make it through the next period. Because if we are not thinking as a people, and if we are acting on traditions that everybody already know, they're going to take advantage of us, and we're going to end up non-existent. Because, you know what I mean? And once again, it goes back to what this old Spanish proverb, the man who has injured will never forgive you. They know we have been injured. They don't give us nothing. Why? Because they only believe that we have never forgotten and we have never forgiven and given any type of power. We're going to do something with it. Right? I mean, and coming from that standpoint, you can kind of understand that. Now, Mama Margarita says, how about if the two snakes are struggling, which one is to forget or forgive? I don't understand. I understand because it's one snake, but and so which one? I don't know. I guess the one that want to die. You know what I'm saying? Forget or forgive. I don't know whichever one want to die. You know what I'm saying? Because like I said, once again, Kwame already qualified that for forgiving does not mean forgetting, right? In our lessons from Elder Wakesa, it's like though the person that's offended, or we need to reestablish our boundaries in dealing with each other. The two snakes, they have to establish their boundaries. And I stay over here, you stay over here. You violate that boundary, we got an issue. We got to redress it. See, because how can I put it? You cannot talk about tribe, village, community, city, if you don't have borders. And those borders come with rules and consequences for violating the rules within those borders. If there are no rules, then you really don't have a village. You really don't have a tribe. You really don't have a nation. If anybody could come in and do whatever they want, or if anybody within it could do whatever they want, there has to be consequences. And because we believe in consequences for our kids, but when it comes to us as adults, we believe that nobody is supposed to check me, and that is not us. There has to be some checking, regardless of who wrong. You know what I'm saying? And they could decide to leave, or they could decide to go and take the consequences and stay, and learn, and grow, and understand the new borders that have been set for them, the new parameters that have been set for them. You know what I'm saying? And so, we have to be able to establish that. What the snake was honest with the man, because the snake could have been like, cool, I'll take the honey. I'll come and see you soon. We could be friends again, which some people do, and bite him. I'm going to get him. I got him. You got my tail. I can't forget my tail, nor can you forget your son or your cattle. As a matter of fact, I got the most out the deal. So I already know that you're going to try to come back at me. So it's about, the snake established a boundary. The snake established what it is. I already know what it is. I can't forgive you. Even though I bit your son and I bit your cattle and stuff, and you should be forgiving me, I can't forgive you. I fired the first shot. I can't forgive you. There's only one way this is going to end. Watch your back. Watch your back. All right? So, and like I said, in these folk tales and in these proverbs, you know what I'm saying, we start seeing how the mind thinks. Because in here, they talk about the consciousness of having provoked the resentment of another will dwell so continually upon the mind of the aggressor that he or she cannot rest till he has finished his work and put it as much as possible out of the enemy's power to make any return upon him. Fighting reciprocity. I gotta fight all the visible signs of reciprocity off of me that I can. I said, wow. Is that even possible? Come on now, some more callers out there. Ain't no more comments? Let's see. Who established the borders? Now, for example, if it's you, Mama Margarita, that are offended, you have a right to establish your own borders. Now, if we have a community, if we have a tribe, we can decide on those borders. The group decides on what those borders are. The group decides that if the offense happens in that group. But as an individual, you have the right to reestablish your relationship, reestablish how you're going to deal with this individual from henceforth. Sounds only fair because you have to protect yourself. You know what I'm saying? Because if the group is really naive of what's going on, they believe that, hey, cool, it's cool. But I'm establishing my borders and I'm establishing how I'm dealing with everybody else around me because in many cases, it get kind of funny. It get kind of funny. But this is leading to another conversation, Mama Margarita. Stop with the psychology. I got you. But, You got anything else to say about this one, my brother?
That's crazy because for real, I'm sitting here thinking about the conversations I gotta have with, or not, or the lines I gotta draw. Because I think I've been pretty fucking delusional about the opportunity for reconciliation with a lot of people.
See, but this throws the reconciliation into a whole nother place. Because this one, I mean, just think about what it says. Quasi, it flips everything on his head. This proverb, the man who has injured you will never forgive you. This throws it on his head because a lot of times when we're dealing with the forgiveness, we're dealing from it where I have to forgive them. Have you ever thought about somebody that did you wrong? Has the thought ever crossed your mind that they have never forgiven me?
And I'm going to be all the way 100 right now. When I'm thinking about this, certainly I think about the whole black-white America, that whole situation.
You got to.
My bad, I had a cough. But the people that I think about mostly is my people.
Right.
And more specifically, I don't think it's too many men. I think of women. I'm just saying, bro.
I'm gonna say this. I'm gonna say this.
Hear me, bro.
Go ahead.
More women have done me fucking foul in life. Check my status. I just posted this shit. I would not be alive if I didn't have my niggas. Period. Not a family member, not a mom, I'm not gonna speak on my sister because she never offended me. We don't necessarily always vibe, but she never offended me. But my motherfucking female family members have fucking offended me to the core. And my whole life is dedicated to trying to protect these women. And they will sit there and watch me die. I know that shit ain't cool and kosher, and I wasn't supposed to say that shit, but that's the fucking reality for me.
Now, let me ask you this. So this brings it back to what we're talking about. Think about this. Think about the question I asked. The man or woman who has injured you will never forgive you. The way we've been dealing with forgiveness, according to this proverb, maybe missing a whole, like we always talk about the dualities and stuff like that. It may be missing a whole angle of the forgiveness thing. In many cases, it may not be the fact it don't matter whether or not the offended has forgiven the other person. Maybe the thing we need to work on in our community is having the individual that violate actually do some forgiving too. You understand what I'm saying? Because we see these same behaviors, whether we talking about women or men. Some men do what they do because they have not forgiven the women in their life. So it just spills over into other aspects. You understand what I'm saying? I never reconciled I never forgave my mom. So how I treat you, so we could see this in both sexes. When you sit down and you look at this proverb, you can see this. It's like, damn, we're approaching forgiveness in reconciliation in a crazy way. Well, not crazy, in the best way that we knew how. But then when you really think about it, did the person that actually did the offending ever forgive the person that they went out and did something against?
Say that again.
Let me explain it. You and your dude go into some type of business. Your dude purposely, not accidentally, purposely messes you over. Y'all don't talk for 3 years. You forgot. You ain't even forgot. You forgave. And you're very wary of him. Like you doing like Gye-Nyame. I know I can't deal with money with you. Right? But this dude start coming around again. The question is, now, even though you have forgiven him because the slight was done against you, the question you need to have in your mind is, did this person forgive me?
That's exactly what I'm saying. That's exactly what I'm saying.
Go ahead, explain.
That's exactly what I'm
Break
saying.
it down for me so I get it, because I didn't. I
I mean, I guess I ain't trying to get too much personal into my own life,
Right,
but
right,
you know
right.
what I'm saying? Like, you know, I feel like the matri, like that's the thing that we got fucked up as. It's a patriarchal society, but in our black community, it's matriarchal as fuck. And the matriarchal system left me and my family, and they know that they did, and they don't admit that shit.
So they never have forgiven you. So you constantly are being slighted by it.
So they already know.
Well,
You see what I'm saying?
now, but hold on. Now, remember this. I want you to, and I'm going to read this to you. The consciousness of having provoked the resentment of another will dwell so continually upon the mind of the aggressor that he cannot rest till he has finished his or her work and put it as much as possible out of the enemy's power to make any return upon them. Therefore, as the serpent wisely observes, you know, we know what the serpent says to the farmer. But the piece that I want you to understand is that in our community, this process that we're talking about right here may not be conscious may not be happening on a conscious level. I just don't know why I despise you. I don't know why I want to destroy you. This is part of the ailment of possibly the tragedy that we have been going through here and all over the world, because all of us are children of trauma, communities of trauma. So we may be acting out this truth, if it's a truth. I can't say it's a truth. We may be acting out what this thing is talking about and not even know it. I got to get them. Because I know, you know, it ain't like they sitting at the table thinking about it. But, but the chance come, I'm going to get them again. I got to make sure you broke. Or it's another opportunity, or you forgave me, and they come back in and do something very similar, and you like, I don't understand. Why would you do this to me again? Why would you do this to me again? Unless you're trying to destroy me. Not maybe even realizing that they are trying to destroy you, but it's not a conscious thing. So many of us are running around here hurting others, because we don't know that we're trying to take them out. We're running on autopilot. There's no reason. It's just tradition. This is what we do. This is how my mama did it. This is how my daddy did it. This is how, you know what I'm saying? But go ahead. I'm sorry.
I mean, now with that being said, I'm also being cautious to not play the victim. I'm not trying to sound like no fucking victim, because
listen, stop worrying about, let me say this to you. Stop worrying about how it sounds. What we're concerned about is how you feel. I can't do nothing about the other parties, but I can embrace how you feel, and that's okay.
So this is the situation. I recognize that the matriarch, or maybe I'm just now coming into a more clear understanding as the matriarchal system.
You need to stop it, Mama Margarita. Go ahead.
The matriarchal system that pretty much was the foundation of my life, because obviously we all can recognize that our black communities are matriarchal because the father isn't even invited a lot of the times, or isn't present. Whoever choice, I'm not saying it's anybody's fault. I'm just saying the way that it happened is the father is absent in a lot of situations. You see what I'm saying? That's a whole other conversation. But I recognize that, and then I recognize that as a boy, that I knew how to kind of manipulate the feminine in a certain way. You see what I'm saying? So there may be, but I also probably felt like I was being manipulated and didn't necessarily understand how to articulate it. So then I felt a sense of guilt. So then I've been trying to reconcile with the feminine, with the black woman. I've been trying to reconcile and making kids. And through this whole process and coming in with that same kind of mentality of wanting to recognize, always kind of putting myself in a vulnerable position, almost laying myself down, expecting that my vulnerability entering into that situation with a vulnerability will be acknowledged and will be kind of taken care of, nurtured. But instead, you see what I'm saying? I'm an easy target.
Now that's something we could talk about on a later date, me and you. You know what I'm saying? Because there's certain things. I mean, because what this proverb is saying is that, I mean, now if we are running around here wounded and doing what this proverb says, we're dealing with stuff that is generational. And by the way, Mama Margarita, if you're talking about my situation, I never chose to dance. But anyway, a matter of fact, I didn't even have a chance to dance. But anyway, but I did provide the music. Well, not in that way, but you know. But anyway, I provided the scenery and all that stuff. So I think you really need to call me so that I can let you know what's going on. Because anyway, but Kwesi, what I'm saying is, I hear you, and let's talk. But right now, we don't need to talk about that, because what we got wounded people wounding people. You understand what I'm saying? And sometimes by us making ourselves vulnerable in a room full of viper-like humans, because like I said, the man wasn't mad at the snake for being a snake. The man was mad at the snake because the snake murdered his son. I know you a snake, but you didn't. I don't believe you had to bite my son, but the snake had to bite his son because the snake was a snake. And we're running around thinking we might be dealing with people on a total reptilian. This is a totally reptilian type mind state. Can't forgive you.
And yeah, you're right. We probably should talk about this often, because my next
Right, I mean, because you got this is a personal issue. This is called wisdom mining. This is where the work starts for us. This is one of those dragons you got to slay. You understand what I'm saying? This is, you're gonna have to go to the Phoenix with this one, dog. You understand what I'm saying? Because this one, that very thing you struggling with may be the jewel that you need to improve your life. Because I hear you.
I mean,
I feel your pain.
I already know what my destiny is, man. I've known it in this conversation. I'm sorry to have to tell you, but this just brought it even clearer, man. My destiny is to die.
That's everybody's destiny.
Young.
Well, I mean, that's a choice. In many cases, that's a choice. You know what I'm saying? I would prefer.
People should have to mourn my death, and they should
Why?
have to wrestle with that.
See,
shit.
But
crazy because.
But hold on, let me say this. You know what I'm saying? Hate or anger is like, how can I put it? It's almost like you want people to watch you drink poison and die. You understand what I'm saying? Because what you're talking about is dying so other people can mourn you and miss you. What I'm saying is that's dangerous. That's dangerous thought, because it's almost as if you're sitting down drinking poison, expecting other people to die. They're not going. If they don't give a fuck now, they're not going to give a fuck then. They'll cry for a couple of days and their life will go on. I would prefer me and you be sitting somewhere 40 years from now, and you like, how Tim, you too old to be doing this stuff. We need get some of them young boys over here. We can't be moving these tables like this. You know what I'm saying? We need to be, me and you need to be at the 100th Kwanzaa. Unless we have to go out. There's no honor in dying a useless death. None. You understand what I'm saying? Because your history, you already know this. How many of your homeboys that die young are still talked about today, unless you and exclude the ones that you put on the daily toast list. The women that was
exactly
right.
The reason that they don't though is because people ain't speaking their name. Death to an African is being forgotten.
That's right.
And motherfuckers ain't gonna forget me.
Okay. Now, but the ones that you're talking about, you want to mourn for you, ain't gonna remember your name.
That's cool.
That's not. I mean, that might be cool for you. That's called a stupid death. We don't do that. You know what I'm saying? That's called a stupid death. We got to be wise with it, dog. We got to be wise with it. We got to live our lives unless we on the actual battlefield where we have to go out. Right now, dog, come on now. Think about what you're saying. We talk about it. We'll talk about it. Because like I said, there's no honor in it. I mean, but then we gonna cut it. But you got any last words for the people?
I always say too much. That's why I that's why I don't say shit.
No,
you know what I'm saying?
See, but listen, you got to get it out. And like I said, this is why I keep telling you get a show. You're fearful about getting a show because you're gonna say too much. But the very story that you're telling is the story that other people need to hear, because there's other young people and people even younger than you who feel like you feel. And what they need to understand that there is another side of that. There's growth in it. There's something else coming. There's something better coming. You understand what I'm saying? They can see through your progression and through you making it and through you being in school that there is something out here. It's something that can be done. You're not going to be totally happy all the damn time, but hey, that's life. That's what we deal with. You know what I'm saying? What is a warrior?
One who is experienced or involved in conflict.
Don't be trying to lead the conflict early, my friend. In the conflict comes the growth. Pain is there. Suffering is there. But also victory. On the other side of the conflict is victory. And if it's an honorable conflict, or if you can't make it to victory, there's an honorable death. But you was fighting. Not stupidly, not for nothing stupid. You know what I'm saying? That's why we talk about honor, loyalty, and sacrifice. We got to make sure and measure everything that we do against that. Is this honorable? Is it about, and when we talk about honor, we talk about within the realms of my eye. Is honor, loyalty? Is this loyalty? Am I practicing loyalty to my tribe? Am I practicing loyalty to my family? You know what I'm saying? Boom. Does it fit in with authority? Honor, loyalty, and sacrifice. Then I can make the sacrifice. But if it don't fit in with my eye, it's not real. Now, there's different aspects of my eye that we can talk about in private that we don't need to talk about over the airwaves. You know what I'm saying? But we got a culture. It's certain ways we do stuff. Right now, it sounds like you on that kamikaze shit, and that ain't us. You understand what I'm saying?
I wouldn't even know. I wouldn't even know that, man. It's primary, like.
But I'm saying,
the class that I had today, we was talking about Emmett Till. You know what I mean? Like, so it was. We had an assignment from last week, and we had to. We watched this little PBS special and did some reading about Emmett Till, and I kind of got hit with some things about Emmett Till that I wasn't aware of, and some stuff that I was aware of got brought into a whole new light, and how, you know, we still talking about Emmett Till, so he's not dead, you know, and the things that not even really his life, because he was so young, he was only 14,
right.
He didn't, but one of the main things about his life was that he was a very just kind of innocent, playful, kind of, it seems almost like one of them, it kind of reminded me kind of a Darren. Like, just know where that button is at, and it's going to push it. You know what I mean?
Right.
It's going to push it.
Right.
But at the same time, like, the way that things happen and the fallout behind it and the conversations that happen, they transcend it, and it was a necessary thing. You know, I mean, I want to be. I feel like me as an 80-year-old person would be dope as fuck. You know what I mean? Like the type of, because I'm gonna always be young at heart. That's just something that I always want to be. It's something that I'm determined to do. As long as I'm alive, I want to be able to relate to people of all ages. So I'm going to.
Right.
You know what I mean? But at the same time, I really feel like an alien, man. Like I don't feel like people can. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like people can't really grasp what I'm getting at. It always goes over people's heads, and I don't even try to talk sweet. Like that shit is like I'm humble as hell about it. Like I wish that I didn't. I would rather just be a regular, just be able to just go to work and just be normal.
Right.
I wish I didn't have to wrestle with all of these things.
I'm gonna have to tell you like Greg Carr said. Greg Carr said I was planning I don't know if you know who he is, but he's a scholar that came through Columbus, and he said, I was planning to be a lawyer, and then I walked into the African Center for Study and Worship, and you Negroes ruined me. You know what I'm saying? I mean, you can't go back now. You know what I'm saying? And for a while, you feel like that until you start getting your stride. You understand what I'm saying? Because it's like, yo, man, we got to figure this out. Because like I said, what you're feeling now, many of our young people feel, especially if they grew up in this community, because it's like, where do I fit? You know what I'm saying? I got grown friends that's still trying to figure out where they fit. My age. Where do I fit? I've been involved in this my whole life, and there's no benefits. Like I said, I tell people our circle, we will not be having the Pan-African retirement account. We don't do that. You know what I'm saying? And it's like, yo, you trying to figure out where you fit because you see stuff that other people don't see. Somebody to get up and go to their job, and it's like, it's a book. I can't remember it. I know Kwame probably could call in or he could type it up on the screen in the Bible where it's like Solomon is confessing his woes and the problems of being wise. I mean, I read that. I said, this is depressing. You know what I'm saying? Really, because it's like you look at the world and you see what's going on and everybody just skipping along. Everybody, it's like, and it's like, what is going on? You ain't alone.
Out the gate.
Huh?
Out the gate. You can't have wisdom and have wisdom. You can't say that you have wisdom because then you're just like an asshole. You know what I mean?
Right. So you got not only do you got to be humble, in many cases you got to keep your mouth shut about what you see, because when you talk to people that don't have that understanding, they look at you as if you are crazy. Then people wonder, people be wondering why I be cussing. Because I'm frustrated. You know what I'm saying? My whole life, you know what I'm saying? I've been blessed to be able to be surrounded by loving black people and have been pushed through my career, but my life, right? It's like, you know what I'm saying? There is more. I have experienced Simba Camp. I have experienced being able to travel. I have been able to experience being in other places and seeing a whole nother world and being in a whole nother realm. And I got to come back to this. Are you serious? And you wonder why I feel like I have to go in and express myself strongly? Unless you have been to something like a Simba Camp where you have been embraced and you have been loved and you have been accepted and it's like family. And then you got to come back to this where you got all types of madness going on. You got people skipping down the street like nothing is going on. You got people acting like everything is okay. I feel you. What I'm saying is, you have a younger version of what I had. As a matter of fact, you came into it a little bit later than I did. I went through a phase where I was knocking motherfuckers out. I'm just letting you know. All somebody had to do was say something to me. I was so upset, I was ready to go. I would chase cars down on Ohio State campus because some of the white boys would be disrespectful. Whatever. Get out the car. Because this is where it's going to end for me. But then I found out most of them is cowards. So I'm like, they ain't even got the heart to kill me. I need, you know what I'm saying? Then you go into these relationships and they don't understand you and you feel lost. You feel like you alone. even when you're in a relationship. And the bad news I got for you, Kwesi, it's not going to stop, homie. So you got the man to fuck up. You understand what I'm saying? You got the warrior up. You got the nation builder up. And you got to hold the beautiful moments in your mind. You got to hold the songs in your mind. You got to hold the proverbs in your mind so that you can push through. Because it's not going to make sense until we start creating our own. Where when you go home is you in your environment. When you go to your place of business, you in your environment. When you go to your hall to celebrate, you in your environment. When you go out to the woods, you in your environment. You know why? Because it's ours, and we own it, and we will die before we let somebody take it. You're operating in somebody else's space and time, and you don't understand that yet. And you need to understand it so that because like I said, I keep telling you, we don't need soldiers to die. We need soldiers to live for this. My son don't need you to die. My son needs you to live because he's going to go through the same thing. So you got a family on your shoulders, homie. So when you start talking like this, it start irritating my ears. Because I feel you. And it start bringing up where I was. Because it's a deep loneliness that's there. Because nobody understands. And it's like even the people that understand, they don't even have time because they got to get out and make a living. They ain't got time to coach you through it. This is why I'm saying any community, one of the reasons that I'm trying to make sure that we are able to employ a few of our people is exactly for the reason that you're talking about. Because we need individuals that have time to go and talk some of our folks through this. When you start coming, we want people to become conscious, but we have nothing for them. They can't eat off of this. They can't eat the proverbs. They can't eat the folk tales. But we've been fortunate, haven't we, Kwesi? Haven't we, Kwesi? Because this shit been feeding us, haven't we? It's fed us, haven't it?
Even when I make mistakes, it continues to.
Which means that we're in a change of time. Because I want you to understand. I want you to think about this. Imagine how it was, because you don't know Nomo, but I just want you to go back to your civil rights studies.
I don't know, Nomo. What you talking about?
Did you know Nomo? Oh, my fault. I want you to imagine Nomo at your age. Well, you know what I'm saying? I want you to imagine those real fighters out there that wasn't just on the philosophy, that was police to the police. I want you to imagine that. See, because at a certain point in time, there was a switch that was hit and we went to sleep. So I want you to imagine being one of those that came up out of that, and all of a sudden everybody's acting like everything is cool and normal. Imagine that. And now you just a widget. You could be replaced. You could be fired. I see Nomo get fired by us. People wonder why. I need to get off. I'm going to get off. But, brother, I love you. Like I said, if you need to talk, boom, I got time. I make time. You know what I'm saying? You know how it goes down around here, Gye-Nyame journey. Family, I love y'all, but I have to get up. I was trying to do an hour, but I never can. But, Quace, you got any final words for the people before we get up out of here?
I love you too, brother. I appreciate you. I think I express myself and I get off of my chest. Normally just keep it in or maybe talk to some people,
right.
In closed doors. But, today, if you was listening, you heard my pain. But, I'm a fighter.
Not only that.
I'll be all right.
Not only that, you may have exposed some other people's pain. And I want to applaud you for being brave enough to do it, because a lot of us don't even talk about it. We ashamed of it. You know how hard it is? Do you know how hard it is to be a man and you don't have the control of your community? You don't have a territory? You don't have nothing to pass down to your children? Where's that a man at? Where? You know what I'm saying? So we have to go on, and we have to understand where we are so that we can start really building. And I appreciate you because what you expose is something that a lot of our young people are feeling. Because many of us is running around here acting like there's nothing going on. And then we'll get mad at you because you don't have the right to feel the way you feel, Quasi Low. This is why when we go to the woods, we set the fire. The first thing that we start doing before we even start setting the tents is we set the fire. Because we know there's supposed to be some pain released in that fire. And we prepare for that night. So we go on and we make it long and we allow people to sit up all night and be able to talk about some stuff. But the major reason for the fire, which we learned from Simba Camp, which Simba Camp got from Brother Charles Traylor, was the pain fire, where we are able to sit around in a safe place and expose our pain. How am I supposed to, but I'm done. See, I gotta go. But yo, this is Brother Hatim. Once again, I want to remind you are now standing in the congregation of the mighty, the home of the stubborn minority, the place where your hustle builds muscle. This is Gye-Nyame Journey Media. I'm your host, Brother Hatim, and this has been Folk Tales for Grown Folks, and it's been a while, and it's good to see you. And it's the Heart of a Simmer production. Well, we strive to blow up your old paradigms. We out.
What is a lion without his pride? What is a whale without his pod? What is a monkey without his troop? What is a wolf without his pack? The answer is very simple. They are the same thing that a human being is without a tribe. Pray.
Peace, family. Yo, thank you for joining us. Right? And I'm thrilled to announce the fact that we are now releasing our first free e-course. Come and learn about Gye-Nyame Journey. See some of the stuff we do. Come and join the tribe. Tribe up with us and check out the free e-course. And we'll make sure that the URL pop up right about here. And it'll probably be somewhere in here. Check us out, family, because we are building. Come and learn about Gye-Nyame Journey, and let's build together.
goddesses were black. Not just for the African now, in the civilization of the Greek. The Greek was so profoundly affected by the Africans that the goddess of chastity was a black woman, Artemis. The goddess of wisdom was a black woman, Minerva. The goddess of beauty was a black woman, Diana. And many of their great mythological figures which were critical to the vision of history, the history of the Greeks in the Odyssey. The woman who draws, who has the power to draw Odysseus and all his crew into her, is Circe, who is represented as a black woman with African features on the Greek vases. The woman who helps Jason win the Golden Fleece is a black woman, Medea. The woman who marries Perseus, the Greek hero, is
Gye-Nyame, Bombskin & Co. is the true definition of self-care, self-love, and repeat. We are what we create in this life. Bombskin & Co. chooses to create something innovative and unforgettable. Check out our website for more information.
Spirit Over Flesh LLC is a wellness-based business where we heal through words. I'm Tiandra. I'm the founding servant leader. It is a black-owned, woman-owned business that was founded in Ohio, but that can serve the world. Through virtual sessions, either by phone or video conference, we have a conversation. We always start with a 15-minute consult where we just make sure that I learn a little bit about you, you learn some about me, and then we schedule some time to be intentional about your wellness journey. During the time, it's about education and empowerment. You are your own best doctor from within. So I'm literally someone who is just intentional in the space and drawing questions out of you to get you further on your wellness journey. Sessions are typically starting at $80. But if you mention Kwanzaa 2020, we're going to go ahead and take 20% off. It's about getting you well so that we can be well, right? Kujichagulia and Ujima, collective responsibility. So grateful for the opportunity to support you in your wellness journey. If you're interested, go to my website, spiritoverfleshllc.com. There's a button that says Let's Connect. Fill out the form and I'll get right back to you. Again, that's spiritoverfleshllc.com. I look forward to supporting you in your wellness journey and healing through words.
Are you heading out of town or have a special occasion? What about birthdays, anniversaries, or reunions? Get the best deals and inexpensive rental car rates, mid-size sedans, compact cars, and more. We have a variety of fleet vehicles to accommodate any and all of your rental car needs. Make a reservation today at your local budget rental car on Hamilton Road in Whitehall. Call 614-863-7500.
Kwanzaa. I'm Carla, and my sister Karen and I own Two Natural Sisters. We've been in business for 5 years, and we sell a line of natural bath, body, and candle products. Let's take a look. Follow us on social media, Facebook and Instagram, at Two Natural Sisters. All items that are in stock will be shipped within 24 to 48 hours. As a promotional item, we offer a CD of Black romantic poetry of self-love and coupled love, and 50% discount on Sister Locks, Brother Locks by consultant Sapphire Donetta Mahadi. If you have any questions, you can reach us at customercare@twonaturalsisters.com. Enjoy and happy Kwanzaa.
What's going on? My name is Doe. I am the owner and creator of Madeline Gin. Madeline Gin is best described as a celebratory art experience that exudes hella blackness. Initially, the company was founded to provide a luxurious but affordable art experience, and has since transformed itself into something a bit more spiritual. By walking in what I believe to be my truth, I've been able to get in contact with my ancestors and use my platform and my art, my gift, to tell their untold stories. I do that by using different textures, by utilizing different mediums, colors, and just making things pop out so that it's open for interpretation. I love creating, and I can't wait to be of service to you. Thank you.
I am a genius. My ancestors were geniuses. My ancestors have made me a genius in all that I think, say, and do. I must declare myself a genius. I am a genius. Whenever I am myself, I practice my geniusness and do great things. All my thoughts, choices, and deeds must express my geniusness.
I am a genius. My decisions must always be in the best interest of myself, my family, my people, and my God. Only then will I and everyone I know that I am a genius.
I am a genius. At all times, my geniusness must reflect my culture. My geniusness must serve my God. My geniusness must make me be one in love and harmony with my family. My geniusness must protect my people. Yes, at all times I must demonstrate excellence because I am a genius.
The Purpose Driven Society is a Black-owned, woman-owned business local to Columbus who creates accessories that have intentional messaging. Our specialty are buttons. Buttons can be worn anywhere, on a shirt, on a book bag, on a hat. The beautiful thing about buttons is that you can change them and switch it up depending on your mood or the day. For Election Day, we wore a very intentional button. On my book bag, my student's book bag, it says, "You are already intelligent, educate yourself." Buttons are empowering with the messages that we create. Again, we do them very intentionally. At the Purpose Driven Society, we're minding our Black-owned business and hope that you'll help mind ours too by doing business with us. Our buttons go for $3 for one, $5 for two, $7 for three. But if you mention Kwanzaa 2020, we're doing a special where you'll get an assortment of buttons for just $20, and we'll ship anywhere in the country. So again, that's the Purpose Driven Society. We can be reached at thepurposedrivensociety@outlook.com. Send us an email, and we will put together a very intentional bag of buttons for you and ship it straight to your home. Happy Kwanzaa. Thanks for doing business with us.